I'm Ivan Polanco, and I'm happy to be here performing for Homeward Sounds. I have a few songs I'm going to be playing. Hope you enjoy. I'm going to jump right in. This first one's called Fight the Fear. You say the memory's gone, but you run to me in every dream. I say the memory's not. Don't fight the fear, just set it free. Too many methodical decisions you make, and there's a whole relationship you fake. It's too easy, it's too safe. It got so damn comfortable that suddenly you're pumping your brakes. Is this fate? Cause here I stand, and no flame from the past that you're lost in the sand. You're speechless as you reminisce our plans, but now there's another man holding your hand. Yo, you don't even love him. You tell everyone you do so much. You're trying to convince yourself, but it's not the same. You don't even love him. You tell everyone you do so much. You feel the truth that you should be with me. You say the memory's gone, but you run to me in every dream. I say the memory's not. Don't fight the fear, just set it free. You moved on fast, but I didn't. Everybody telling me there's other fish in the sea, but I didn't listen. Finally, I found remission. Remission from missing your lips. Listen when I taste your heavenly kisses. So different. Now we're adults, but now the results seem to show some things here. I guess time doesn't heal all wounds. I feel the fire now has reappeared. You don't even love him, but you tell everyone you do so much. You're trying to convince yourself, but it's not the same. You don't even love him, but you tell everyone you do so much. You feel the truth that you should be with me. You say the memory's gone, but you run to me in every dream. I say the memory's not. Don't fight the fear, just set it free. Yeah, oh yeah. Oh yeah, oh yeah, ooh, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, ooh. You don't even love him, but you tell everyone you do so much. You're trying to convince yourself, but it's not the same. You don't even love him, but you tell everyone you do so much. You feel the truth that you should be with me. Thank you guys.
Hell yeah.
All right. Cool, man.
Oh, that's great.
Awesome.
All right, man. You good?
Should I go into that other one?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. This next song is a song called Hard Not to Fall. And when I filmed the music video for this, I had this idea of two characters slow dancing in a 6 train. So for the music video, I actually got a bunch of my buddies and a lovely lady, and we choreographed a whole slow dance sequence on a moving 6 train, like at 6:30 a.m. We took the train to and from to Manhattan and back to the Bronx, like at least like 9 times to finally get enough takes with different angles to film this video. So without further ado, this is Hard Not to Fall. It's hard not to fall for you as you stand there across the room. You leave a trail of your sweet perfume. Everywhere that you walk I swoon. And I wanna know, do you see me as a friend or more? Can we try? 'Cause I'm so sure that you are the truth to the question I've been I'm right. Hey, I hope I'm right. Oh, I hope I'm right. Da, 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 da. Your smile that is so divine, that you shine back to me tonight. And the gleam has a warmth so strong, it compels me to make you mine. And I wanna know, does your boyfriend think of you the same? 'Cause I mean every word I say when you are the truth to the question I've been asking every night. Time after time it hurts me true. Before my eyes it kisses you. I know I'd give you so much more. 'Cause you are the truth to the question I've been asking every night. If love could be true, even if the other has said what it like, I hope I'm right. Hey, I hope I'm right. Oh, I hope I'm right. I hope I'm right. Okay. And we're back. So, oh fuck. Let me take that again. All right, here we go. We're back. So I have a coat on because it's really damn cold. But it's going to let me sing better. So with that said, hope you enjoy the new outfit. And this next song is actually one of my personal favorite songs to sing. It's not about anyone in particular, but I just felt like being a little petty for a songwriting exercise, and this is what I came up with, the song here. While I'm here waiting, give me a warning. I am just saying, stick to a story. You say a face just to get my good graces. So gotta go get it going and leave you lonely. Just saying, time is a wasting. You use threats just to make me staying. Not the only one that's thought of us lately. So come on, what you wanna do, girl? What you wanna do, girl? What you wanna do, girl? You're so controlling, tired of all of your scolding. What you wanna do, girl? What you wanna do, girl? What you wanna do, girl? No more provoking, do your own damn consoling, baby. Yeah, yeah. Cry all you want, that the neighbors are the roaring. Throwing all your darts, like you think you keep scoring. It's just a fantasy you can't keep forcing. Every time you go playing possum, you are ignoring the very lie you're living in every day. Me and your old boyfriend, we are not the same. So why do you keep pushing me to the flames? Come on, what you wanna do, girl? What you wanna do, girl? What you wanna do, girl? You're so controlling, tired of all of your scolding. What you wanna do, girl? What you wanna do, girl? What you wanna do, girl? No more provoking, do your own damn consoling, baby. Yeah, yeah. Yo, you are are stressed like a muscle to bone. Whenever the weather is something you like is an 8 string in a home. Enough for the last bit of rain, you were the one to control. I've been here extending my hand, but you never want to move forward. So come on, try to help us move on together. Stress making a mess and all the drama gives you pleasure. You're too in love with attention, time for me to cut the tether. I got my life to live, it's time for me to make it better. Come on. Oh, oh, ah, oh, oh, ah. Oh, oh, ah, ooh. What you wanna do, girl? What you wanna do, girl? What you wanna do, girl? No more provoking, do your own damn consoling, baby, yeah. Yeah. Come on, girl, yeah. Thank you.
That rap was on time.
Were you starting
Thanks.
to laugh at one point? I couldn't tell. Or I was trying to, like during the rap, were you?
Oh yeah, I was focusing so hard. I was like, oh fuck, okay, I can do this.
I've heard you do that song many times.
Thank you.
Of course, it's a song, but of course as well, it is extremely hard.
Okay, I'll go right into the next one now. This next song is actually one that I wrote during a really hard time in my life. I think we can all relate that in relationships, it's a two-way street. No one's ever always in the right or always in the wrong. And sometimes you really got to take a hard look at yourself and realize the part that you play in something. And for me, a lesson I needed to learn was space is a good thing. And this song is called The Space She Needs. 3, 4. This scarlet box of cards I see, we played in bed before we'd sleep. They're a sign that reminds me to be patient. These faded restaurant receipts bring back the meals she shared with me. Souvenirs, memories that we created. But time away aches my soul when she says she needs a few days alone. I gotta give her the space she needs. I gotta give her the space she needs. I gotta give her the space she needs to find her way. A few days have now turned into weeks. Self-doubt is scratching at the seams. Uncertainties breaking through, cracking and crumbling. Then I remember when we'd sleep. In morning light she turned to me. Dimpled cheeks, coffee eyes, love was a rumbling. Find your strength, don't you run. Trust your faith, the pain you can overcome. I gotta give her the space she needs. I gotta give her the space she needs. I gotta give her the space she needs to find her way. Oh, when she's ready, she'll tell me so. And then my beautiful will come home. I gotta give her the space she needs inside today. Oh, what if she doesn't even want me. Souvenirs, memories, they haunt me. Passion I feel inside is glowing, but does she want this like I do? I put it all on the line for her. I put it all on the line for her. I put it all, put it all, I put it all, put it all, I put it all. I gotta give her the space she needs. I gotta give her the space she needs. I gotta give her the space she needs to find her way. I have my courage, I'm standing tall for when she's ready to make that call. With my patience and faith, we'll see what time can bring. Oh, I put it all on the line for her. I put it all on the line for her. I put it all on the line for her. I put it all, I put it all, I put it all, put it all on the line for her. I put it all on the line. I put it all on the line for her. I put it all, I put it all, I put it all. Thank you guys. Yeah, it's a new song. It's a new song.
A bit nippy. A bit nippy.
Thanks, man. I can play one more.
Yeah, cool.
That's cool. Yeah. Okay. It's gonna be like 30 seconds.
Yeah, no, do it.
My fingers are like freezing.
We're there.
Yeah. I once played a New Year's, actually in White Plains. I played the New Year's Eve ball drop. Fuck, man, that was cold. That was like 5 degrees. So thankfully, they only asked me to play one song, but I was with a band, like not my band. Like there was a band of like a big cover band. So they had me like doing a feature spot, like White Plains local. Ivan's gonna perform, and that one song, man. Oh, I felt it. I fucking felt it.
When was that? A few years ago?
Like 2014,
Oh, okay.
2014, 2015.
Wow.
Okay.
Worth it. Maybe.
They prepared you for this moment.
Yeah, prepared me.
True.
I'm thinking of Titanic. Like, never let go, Jack. And she's like, her jaw's like, I won't let go. Never let go.
You gotta keep that. It's for close. You got it.
We're in.
All right. Okay. I'm gonna control my jaw. Okay, here we go. I don't need this guy. Okay. So, with that said, what's the song called? It's so cold, I forgot. All right, I'm gonna do that again. Here we go. With that said, I got one more song I'm gonna be playing. And this is a song that I actually carried with me. I only had the chorus written, and I wrote it when I was like 14 or 15, and I didn't know what to do with it until I was like 21. So I just carried this chorus with me, and I kept trying to write different verses, seeing what I wanted to do, and then finally, it all just came together. So from 14 to 21, what is that? 7 years, something like that. You do the math. It's too cold to think right now outside. But this song is called Get It Right, and it's one of my favorite songs of mine to play. Baby, there's a portrait that you're painting, and it just ain't fair. Dreaming this illusion, I'm a man who really just don't care. Love that I give you all the time, girl, no matter when or where. So baby, are you crazy? Don't say that, baby, don't you dare. Get it right, girl, yeah, get it right, girl. Get it right, girl, yeah, get it right, girl. Get it right, girl, yeah, get it right, girl. Get it right, girl, yeah, get it. Now I can't seem to see how everything could be such a vicious onslaught. Flames thrown at me, and even when I try to provide, if I know I tell me to be late, everything I give you into lies, and I'm just so tired. This wear and tear on my heartstrings, girl. Disapproving stare so on all these lies. Just one truth. The only thing I need to do is leave you. Baby, there's a portrait that you're painting, and it just ain't fair. Dreaming this illusion. I'm a man who really just don't care. Love that I give you all the time, girl, no matter when or where. So baby, are you crazy? Don't say that, baby, don't you dare. Get it right, girl, yeah, get it right, girl. Get it right, girl, yeah, get it right, girl. Get it right, girl, yeah, get it right, girl. Get it right, girl, yeah, get it. Now me as a person, I'm a self-made man. Do what I have to and I say what I can. It's a never-ending grind on the music scene. I'm sticking to the plan to support my big dreams, but you refuse to understand. I'm doing everything possible to provide. As a man, I cook, I clean, girl, pay my bills, so I'm working 60 hours a week. How about you? You say that you work from home. The only work I ever see you do is texting on your phone. Your past boyfriends used to pay your bills. Let me tell you something, sweetie, I'm keeping it real. You want real love, it's a two-way street. I'm making time for you, but you don't do it for me. So you wanna be my queen, you act like a peasant. Get out of my life, girl, I'ma teach you a lesson. Come on. Hey. Na, 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 na. Ooh. Hey, come on. Hey. I don't claim to be the perfect man. I know that times get tough, but I can't stand to be the one to blame again. I've had enough. Get it right, girl, yeah, get it right, girl. Get it right, girl, yeah, get it right, girl. Get it right, girl, yeah, get it right, girl. Get it right, girl, yeah, get it right, girl. Get it right, girl, yeah, get it right, girl. Get it right, girl, yeah, get it right, girl. Get it right, girl, yeah, get it right, girl. Get it right, girl, yeah, get it right. Thank you. Thank you very much.
All right, another episode of Homeward Sounds. This time we got Ivan Polanco, who is hailing from... Where are you coming from today?
Coming from Danbury, Connecticut, actually.
Cool. So did you... where are you originally from?
Originally from White Plains, New York.
Cool. It was... we took it inside again. This is another episode we're going to have to do from the couch because it was just a teensy bit cold out there. I know, just a teensy bit. You know, we had to thaw off our fingers and extremities before moving in. I know you do have a song called Cold on the most recent album. As I was listening to your music, I was wondering, I was like, it would be fitting on a day like today to play that.
Yeah, man.
But, yeah, really enjoyed the set, as I'm sure many others will. It's a really great, interesting, unique, fresh combo, I think, of like singer, songwriter, but you're inevitably bringing in some of your own stuff, like definitely an R&B vibe. And then when I listen to your stuff on Apple Music, Spotify, what have you, it varies, and like even got some grungy songs. Like I think one of the ones I really liked, I think it was called Inside, was like a more... Oh, yeah. Dude, I don't know if that was from the earlier album, but that one was very like driving, and it has like all acoustic guitar, so it brings that like sort of like Latin vibe, but it's really driving, almost grungy. So talking about influences, how did you arrive at the sound that you're currently putting out?
Sure. My father's a singer-songwriter, and both my parents grew up in the 70s and 80s. So music from those decades was very much a part of my childhood. So the classic rock, the Led Zeppelins, the Who, and then of course moving into Tina Turner and Sade, and I'm a 90s kid, so growing up with 90s grunge and just loving bands like Soundgarden, Rage Against the Machine, but also having an appreciation for like singer-songwriters of the 70s too. I'm also a big Beatles fan. My parents played a lot of Beatles for me growing up, so
classic.
Honestly, my music is a mixed match of
really so many different influences.
Right.
I would say the music I write that I feel most called to perform and write for it is pop, R&B. But on my records, for sure, I do have those songs where I explore other territories. So
Right.
for every album I've ever made thus far, I always like to have at least one like rock song, one rock/metal song, and
Love
a
it.
song where I can also like sing and rap to.
Sure.
Because I do
Yeah.
enjoy testing myself.
Absolutely. I mean, you
Sure.
sort of bring it all in, like the singing and rapping combo with those other sort of like tones you're talking about. It creates such a great vibe, and I think, I think one definition of creativity, you take existing things, mesh them together, see what comes out the other side, which is such a beautiful, curious, exciting, adventurous, like exploratory process. So I think it definitely, it definitely works best when you pull from so many different spots because,
Sure,
you hear some pop on the radio these days that just like you wonder if somebody was listening to that and like, oh, I want to set out to make that. It's just when you hear stuff that falls into a certain vein or like a pattern, it becomes boring so quickly.
Yeah, definitely.
So-
And as songwriters, we can also create our own patterns that our songs start to sound like over time.
Right.
I've had to kind of take a humble step back and realize, okay, there's still more growing for me to do here.
Sure.
So like kind of using similar chords or like not realizing certain melodies sound kind of similar to other stuff I've written. That's where, for sure, diving into different decades of music or just like kind of being a fan of a specific artist or band, going on a journey of like checking out their discography can kind of influence you as a singer-songwriter or artist to explore those chords, explore that songwriting territory. So you're right, there's endless growth. And
Yeah, endless growth.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that's one thing we got to remember about music in general, like musical journeys, which is one of the most beautiful things about it, is that you can, there's always room for improvement, whether it be with your instrument, your instrument or your singing instrument, your voice. There's just so much opportunity there. And I think to your point, it can serve so well to deliberately try to break those patterns. So,
Yeah.
if you always, you find yourself writing more songs in minor keys to just jump to a major key, it can be as simple as that. Or, exploring a band or musician that you wouldn't ordinarily, and maybe like borrow some of those chords and figure that out and just try to shake things up. I think that's really, a worthwhile pursuit.
Yeah.
But speaking of influences, so you said you come from a musical family,
Yeah.
and I've seen, after thoroughly stalking your social media, Instagram, as any good host does, I see you talk about your dad a lot. So one should like say a word or two about how your dad has sort of shaped and influenced how you got here.
Yeah, there's a lot of things I could say about both my parents. My father is a singer-songwriter, and my parents had me very young when they were like 22, 23 years old. And at that time, my dad was just starting to write songs for the first time and try to get himself out there to perform.
Oh,
So-
when he had you?
When they had me.
It's like early 20s.
Yeah, early 20s, man. So he's also a self-taught musician, but oftentimes when he would rehearse, the only place in our apartment that he could find that just to have like an enclosed space for him was my bedroom.
Lucky you.
So like oftentimes he'd be like playing guitar to me to sleep, but he
Oh,
was really
man.
just rehearsing for his shows.
Sure.
So just being around that and seeing, my male father figure, the guy I look up to that helped create me with my mom, like, watching him as a role model play guitar, love it and enjoy it, really made me want to try it for myself. So
Sure.
yeah, I'm a drummer first, actually, and
At
I
what
just
age did you start drumming?
yeah, I started drumming at like 5.
Oh, wow.
4 or 5 years. I watched the music video "Mbop" by Hanson.
Classic
Yeah.
throwback. If you don't
And
know it,
I was
you
like,
should look it
oh
up.
my god, there's kids that play music, like, I could do this too, and they're doing it. And then I just, like,
Shout out to Hanson.
I started playing music to Hanson of all bands. And I am still a fan of theirs too.
They're
but, like,
catchy.
yeah, catchy stuff, man. And they're still going strong too.
That's great.
But yeah, from there, having parents, my mom and dad, like, cultivating and supporting that environment where I could let my creativity flourish with like trying different instruments, and eventually ask my dad to like show me a few things on guitar. Like
Sure.
it became me having a supportive environment that my parents essentially cultivated. So
Sure.
I owe a lot to my dad and my mom, and my dad being the singer-songwriter that he is, being that role model for me, that male role model, where
Right.
I could not only have his passions passed down to me, but not forced upon me. Like
Right,
I
of
discovered
course.
my own love for music.
Which is it's definitely it's an intricate balance, like those things you spoke about, but also having a loving family that's not, it's not stifling or overwhelming, but there's that balance between like the safety and security and love that you need as a child to develop, while also getting like having that safety to then explore.
Yeah.
Like you coming from that space of comfort so that you can, boldly and confidently explore your own self and like your own creation as like a human. And speaking to that, I know at one point I've seen you talk about, being true to your voice in so many words, like, staying true to who you are, and, like you would speak to the fact that you know who you are and so forth, which also is a never-ending journey,
Sure, man.
But like, what does that mean to you to like stay true to yourself through music and life?
It's a great question. It's so funny because I've made posts before, like especially like 5-6 years back, in which I've said like I know who I am, I know what I love to do, and I realized eventually that I was latching on to certain identities that made me feel some sense of like
Right.
worth and self-love, and this is going to get very spiritual. Also,
Let's do it. This is
But,
going. We're going in.
It's funny because it was actually like a big turning point for me about 4 or 5 years ago, in which I realized like I'm a part of who I felt that I was the singer-songwriter Ivan. And when I let that go and just essentially had to face the music, quote unquote, of like, who am I without my songs?
Sure.
I actually felt like I had such a deeper appreciation for my music and having it in my life. So as far as like cultivating a sense of like individuality and who I feel I am today, I honestly feel like music is just one of the many aspects of my life that I love sharing with the world.
Right.
But there's so much more that
Sure.
we all are, and I want to make sure that I don't lose myself in that identity again, because it can be a toxic thing where you can latch on to that idea of I gotta be the singer-songwriter, so that means I gotta be out every night
Yep.
performing, and then
Yep.
when you keep putting yourself out there, you don't really get that time for loved ones or time for yourself.
Right.
So having a balance with music and also just being a human being is something that I
Yeah.
think I'm gonna forever be working on.
Absolutely. As we can only hope to be.
Yeah.
I mean, that balance not only in like the day to day of like going out as a musician and versus spending time with other loved ones, but just to your point about like mentally,
Yeah.
it's such an interesting balance that again, like identity, it's such like a slippery thing in that sense. Like you can draw a lot of power from that, which is great. Like if you put in your hard work to craft X amount of songs, this album, whatever. Not to say you shouldn't or couldn't be proud of that, which you should be.
Yeah.
But at what point is it like? When you bring up the point of stripping back, like on a spiritual level, even, like who is like Ivan without this label of singer-songwriter, or what have you, what other ever thing you've built around yourself. It's interesting to peel those things back and like, figure out where that's coming from. I think definitely is a lifelong endeavor for sure.
And I can now come back to the music with a little more perspective, and I feel
Sure.
like it makes it more enjoyable as
Yeah.
compared to chasing
Yeah.
likes on Instagram.
Oh,
You
man.
know? And that's still an issue too. Like
Sure.
we're all
Inevitably,
still trying
yeah.
to put ourselves out there, promote, but
Yeah, of course.
You can go down a
Yeah.
dark path if you get too
Yeah.
obsessed with it.
And
I have
and
before.
it's like to speak about the need to be kind to yourself. Like there are days still, I think I'm like, where I'll think I'm above like the likes, like the fishing for likes on Instagram or whatever. How many views does this have or whatever? What are people saying about the single I release or whatever? There are days when you still inevitably will fall back into the trap,
Yeah,
and that's nothing wrong with that. It happens. It's just a cycle. You gotta just like keep on moving forward.
Yeah, man.
Speaking of like the holistic Ivan, so you do some martial arts
Here it comes.
as part of my stalking. So
That's
you
fine,
post
man.
a lot of stuff on Instagram about weightlifting, martial arts, this, that. I think if I'm getting this right, is it Train with Ivan? You've got like your training going on. You train people as well.
Yeah, I've been a personal trainer for 10 years. It's allowed me to pay paid for college, but also allowed me to have a flexible day job where I
Right.
could still play shows at night. And I can control the schedule. I can train people from like 5 a.m. through 11, and then maybe
Yeah.
2 or 3 o'clock, and then I'm free for the rest of the night to perform. But
So, what kind of training is it? Is it like mostly like fitness, or how's that look?
Yeah, so it's a blend of really the things that I love to do with my own exercise. So I grew up as an athlete playing baseball and doing karate, and I wrestled also in school, and I was bullied a lot as a kid. So the journey of finding myself was not only through music, which helped me find a sense of confidence in like speaking and sharing my voice and my thoughts through my songs,
Right.
but also that idea of what it means to be a man, you know.
Sure.
And I think as a fellow man, like we all can identify with the fact that like we size each other up.
Yeah.
And oftentimes, especially in grade school, kids can just be so cruel.
Oh, they're the worst.
You know?
They're the worst
So-
humans on earth.
I was always on the school teams, but I was never the biggest guy, and I got pushed around a lot. So discovering weightlifting and building confidence through strength training, and also martial arts, which was karate and then wrestling and then kickboxing and boxing and
Right.
jiu-jitsu now. I love the discipline aspect of martial arts, and I feel like it actually does translate into my music.
Absolutely.
You know, both cross over in the intensity that is required and the level of focus, but also just that ability to be present.
Absolutely.
Because if you're, you know, whether you're, I don't know, about to squat with a barbell, or you're about to throw down with somebody, or if you're about to sing a song on stage, like you have to be completely present, focused, and just there. And I love bringing that and honing that ability to stay locked in the moment.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, that's I know you, like, as I've read about some of your other posts, you had said something about I did read one article. I think it was like it was hustle, or was it bulk?
Bulk hackers?
Bulk hackers.
That's
that was
right.
the last one.
Yeah.
So I was reading an article. I was like, this is great. As I was like, researching your stuff.
Thanks, man.
You had mentioned like meditation, and I'm so glad you brought up that point of how like songwriting and weightlifting or certain aspects of physical fitness lend themselves to each other, which maybe wouldn't seem super intuitive to somebody. Like, oh, of course those things help each other. Just like I've heard people say, if you learn to cook, you'll become a better cook and also musician. Like the two will lend themselves to each other.
Sure.
So sort of just like, I think the overall act of learning anything just helps everything in life, and it definitely gives you that skill. But
I agree, man.
to speak to that meditation, I think it's so important to like have that space to, even just creating a space between stimulus and response, just being able to, sit with yourself for a bit. I think you had spoke to that at one post I was reading about you like enjoying that solitude and really like finding that quiet place within yourself and like spending some time there.
Yeah, man. I agree. It's one of those things where it's both music and fitness have been a part of my life since I could remember, like since I was like 4 years old. I saw my first like Bruce Lee movie, and
Yes.
I really started watching.
Which movie?
It was Return of the Dragon.
Hell yeah.
Where he fights Chuck Norris.
Of course.
And I also really got into Batman, the animated series. I'm a gigantic Batman fan.
Right.
And at the same time, I saw the Hanson music video. So
A lot of things going on.
the same year.
A little Ivan's head.
I'm still doing the things that I loved to do, over 29 years ago.
Oh,
So
dude,
yes,
aging yourself.
it's pretty crazy.
Young man.
But I'm very thankful that both these
Yeah.
interests have stayed with me, and I've grown with them too.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, it's a lifelong endeavor. But just to speak quickly to your your songwriting process, like there's so much worth and so much like I'll just say worth in spending some time with yourself and like hashing out songs by yourself. It's such a great practice because you learn so much about yourself.
Yeah.
But then also there's a lot to be said for collaborating and bouncing ideas from other people. And there's another balance there, like it's great to do both of those things. So how do you usually find yourself creating songs in regards to those things?
Sure. I found that the most honest songwriting I feel like I do has been when I'm alone. And I have co-written songs. I'm not saying I don't like working with other musicians, but there's something special about just sitting with your thoughts and seeing what comes out. on a piece of paper with your guitar. I personally like to have the music first. I like to fiddle around with chords and find a melody, and then with that alone, I could start building a song.
Right.
I've tried the other way, and once in a while it works where I have some poem or lyrics first, and then I try to fit music to it. But there's just something a little more organic that gets my creative juices flowing when there's some sketch of a music skeleton there first.
Yeah.
So yeah, usually guitar and then melody and then the lyrics will come.
Yeah, I find the same thing. I spend a lot of time like crafting songs and stuff like that, and it seems like I've heard other artists say the same thing. Whereas you got a chord progression, maybe you just loop it or something like that, and you just sort of like mumble stuff that sounds like nothing. It could just be like scatting, like random syllables and vowels.
That's exactly what I
and
do.
then all of a sudden now you've got like a word that is, or a phrase or whatever, and it just sort of like takes shape that way, which is a pretty cool, pretty cool exploratory, discovery sort of thing going on.
Yeah, and it's also important to know that like when you feel or when an idea comes to mind and it just comes like out of the blue, like you gotta write it down. You gotta record that shit because it hurts so much when you have a great idea and then you forget how it went.
I know, and like how many times do you need to do that before you learn the lesson? Because still, I'll be like, less frequently, but I'll be like, oh, I'll remember this. Like, I'll remember it later. Like, I'm in my car driving, and it's like, I'll remember it when I get back home. It's like, you won't. Just pull over, do whatever you got to do. We all have an iPhone in our hands, pretty much. Like, wouldn't kill you. Pull out the voice recording app, jot it down.
Yeah,
like
my voice
or
recording notes are just filled with 10-second idea here.
Yeah.
Or like my fiance, she'll say something really funny, but she'll say it in a weird, like the vocal pattern in which she says a sentence. I'm like, say that again, and I'll record it.
Hold on.
Yeah, so like there's really weird, funny ideas, but they turn into songs, man.
They do, and and they're not all gonna be great, which is important to know. I'll go through my voice memos, and it's like me being like, like just mumbling something. I'm like, what the hell is that?
Yeah,
but then sometimes like, all right, I got something. Sometimes it's like a 3-minute thing already carved. Sometimes, like you said, it's like a bite-sized thing. You're like, it's interesting where they come from. So I think you're right, and I've heard even like comedians say the same thing. Like the only difference between, not the only difference, but one thing that I've heard across all of them is like you just got to be writing down. Like the things will happen to you, and if you don't write them down, they'll disappear. And music's very much the same way. But it's a very interesting process of discovery. Let me see if I got everything here. That I guess the last thing I'll talk about. You do mention your fiance now. So. Do you think like your songwriting process has changed at all? You and I were speaking a bit about this earlier, in the sense of like the different stages of life. I find this so interesting. When you're on your journey of life and your musical journey, writing a song as like a single guy, versus like, oh, she broke my heart, versus like, I love this girl, don't want to let her go, and now you're, in the next sort of chapter of your life, which is going to be soon to be marriage.
Yeah.
So do you feel like there's been a change at all in how your relationship with like music and songwriting because of that?
Absolutely. I actually think I'm still discovering that for myself because I've there's no other way to say this. Like I haven't dated too many people, so like I've mostly been single, writing a lot of my music. To be honest,
right.
There's great songs that come out of heartbreak, but what do you do when you're really happy? Like you could write happy songs, but
sure.
Over the past several years, my lady and I have been together. It's been really sweet to discover a different side of my artistic self.
Right.
And that my songwriting has changed, honestly, because I now don't have such thing. A lot of the things that were haunting me were really personal demons of just like learning to love my own company and being alone. Again, being single for a long time.
Yeah.
And when you're not single anymore and you're happy and that demon has been conquered, it's like, okay, like I got to the top of the mountain, but there's another mountain still to go because life always has these challenges. So songwriting now for me has evolved into more so talking about like the aspects of life that aren't always about unrequited love. And when I look back at my discography, I have a lot of songs in which I'll admit it too, like I'm not proud of those songs, but there's a lot of songs in which I'm sometimes a little bitter, and also sometimes just like in darker places, you know, and with the theme of being alone.
Yeah.
So to discover a place where now I'm, you know, happy in a relationship, but also as a person, I feel like there's a sense of wholeness now where I can start to address other aspects of my life. It's really tasteful. But songwriting process wise, it's interesting because I can't lock myself away in my room all day anymore. Like I have to give.
It's gotta be more efficient.
Yeah, I gotta give time of my adult life to the other person, giving
Sure.
time from their adult life to me. So songwriting, flexibility, like
Right.
when I have a good hour and I could fit it in, sometimes I could bust out a song.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's just 20 minutes here, an hour there, you know, 10 minutes over there, and, you know, eventually it comes together.
Right.
But when you find the idea, it'll come to you. And
Yeah.
when it does, you just make it happen. So.
Yeah, I mean that's been an interesting effect on creation, I think, and songwriting in general. Like we're in 2022 now, hopefully in the back end of what has been many months of a pandemic, but like in COVID, you know, when it kept a lot of people at home, for me personally, like I was at home for a while without a job, then at home with a job working remotely. Yeah. And at first you're like, oh my God, I'm gonna get so much done. Like I'm gonna write 3 albums. And then like, you know, a year goes by and you're like, okay, you've like done anything. So it's interesting to hear you say like now juggling all the things that come with a relationship.
Yeah.
You almost have to find a way to be more productive and like more efficient rather.
Yeah.
In the sense, you know, like in the sense that when there have been times when I've had a day job, like a 9 to 5, I'll come home and it will technically, like on paper, be a smaller slab of time, but it's like how you use the time. Because now it's like, all right, this is it. Instead of like being home all day and things being a bit more casual or, you know, slow moving, now it's like, oh, we gotta do it. It's interesting how that happens.
Yeah, and you know, I just want to say one other thing also. It really helps that I have a supportive partner because she met me through my music. She would come to my shows. We met at, you know, essentially at a performance.
You serenaded her, and that was it.
But you know, the fact that she also comes from a family of musicians, so she also gets it.
Right.
When like I'm in a headspace and I'm like, all right, I'm gonna just lock myself away just for an hour.
Yeah.
I'll be back. You know, and that would be a lot harder if.
Absolutely.
You know, I was with somebody who didn't quite.
Absolutely,
get that, so.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Right.
If she's watching this, I love you. You're amazing. So I want to spend my life with you.
Yeah, say it again for the gang. But that's beautiful. Listen, man, we've touched on a bit of everything. It's been great. I appreciate you coming out.
Dude, thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. This has been a joy, a pleasure. Where can we find you? Any last messages for anybody watching?
Sure.
You know, Instagram, social media, that kind of stuff. Where can we find your music?
Yeah, so I released my most recent album, my 5th album called Stand Tall in 2021. And throughout the rest of this year, I'm going to be promoting some of those singles, making some music videos. So if you would like to stay tuned and just follow my journey as I continue to, you know, promote these new songs, you can find me at ivanpolanco.com. It's kind of just the main hub for all my music, but all of my stuff is on every music streaming platform. So Spotify, Apple Music, just search Ivan Polanco. You'll find me. On Instagram, I am ivanpolanco.musicfit. And, yeah.
I'm sure we'll link all the stuff, I'm sure, at some point down somewhere in the video, whatever. But this has been great. Again, man, appreciate it.
Dude, thank you so much for having me, man.
Cheers,
man.
Absolutely. Sweet.